ఇక్కడ ఎన్స్కిన్ పెట్టండి. రికార్డింగ్ అవసరం లేదు బేసికలీ. ఇది మనం ఇంకా వాయిస్ గురించి ఏమి అడ్జస్ట్ చేయగలం? వాయిస్ అడ్జస్ట్ చేయడానికి అవసరం లేదు. Sir, in the last session, we have gone through the basic important things which are required for exam. Okay, whatever required for exam are done completely. So, shall we have a quick recall, ma? So, basically, in the case of linear programming problem, what are the most important aspects, ma? Formulation is the most important aspect. In that formulation too, what are the sub steps there, ma? First, table formation. If the table is given straight away in the question, you need not worry at all. By using that table, we can draft all the parts. If the table part is not given, we draft it for our convenience. Because the if you are done with the table and all, every step will be easy. And what about the next part there, ma? Decision variables. Okay, basically decision variables are playing a crucial role because based on that, our constraints will be changing, and based on that, our non-negative factors also will change. And even objective function depends on that part. So while you are selecting the decision variables, be careful. If A, B, C, D is given in the question, do not take decision variables as A, B, C, D. Or if X, Y, Z is given, to avoid confusion, skip them. Take some other variables. You can take P, Q, R, whatever you wish, but other than the letters given in the question. Okay. And next, what is the next part, ma? Objective function. Okay. So clear? Objective function. In this case of objective function, what is the most important aspect? It can be maximization or a minimization. If it is maximization point of view, what we will maximize? Profit. And minimization point of view, cost. That is the main thing there. And it is represented with the letter what, ma? Z is equal to, we are Z maximum or Z minimum. And in the brackets, you write the reason, whether it is regarding profit or whether it is regarding cost. If that part is done, what is the next part there, ma? Constraints. Subject to constraints, that is a different style you can follow. So constraints. But in the case of constraints, symbols are important. Okay, how the question is given, the entire constraint part we are converting into an equation by using symbols. You can use less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or different symbols. And based on that numericals given there, we draft the equations. Once the equation part is done, that is inequalities, then what is last part there, ma'am? Non-negative factors. If these non-negative factors are also done, formulation part is done. Exam point of view, formulation are having more chances to come. Formulation, more chances to come. Okay. And next, if formulation part is done, what is the other part, ma? What is the other area? They may ask for graphical method or dual model. Okay. In the case of dual model, what are we doing, ma? We are just converting the maximization objective into minimization objective. Sir, I want profit maximization in the primal model. Basic formulation part is nothing but primal model. If it is converted into dual model, what will be the objective, ma? Minimization of a cost. Okay. And in the dual model, what are the basic rules? If the objective is maximization, then what will be the constraints, ma? What will be the constraint scenario? Sir, if the objective is maximization, the constraints, what will be the symbol there basically? Less than or equal to for sure. If there is some scenario which is having greater than or equal to, what we should do, ma? We should convert it by using the sign, negative sign and all. Once you are converting and all, be careful if all the numericals will change the sign. Okay, once the sign is changed, then automatically we can convert the process. Okay, in the primal we have to adjust basically. If it is not less than or equal to, we have to adjust in the primal itself, then we can convert into dual. Okay, what about graphical method, ma? So graphical method, formulation if they are giving, fine, but formulation if it is not given, we have to go for formulation. And next, graphical method. So graphical method mainly it concentrates on which area, ma? Solving the points, whatever points we are having equations. For example, constraints, there are 3 constraints. For each constraint there can be chance for 2 points or 2 coordinates. Once the coordinates are done, we plot the coordinates on the graph. Okay, and we can get a different areas, and based on that areas we are having some special cases. We shall discuss that also today. Then we will end with the graph part. Okay, sir, if the points are done, what are the areas covered there? When mainly the basic most important is that x comma y greater than or equal to 0. What does this mean, ma? X comma y greater than or equal to 0. What does that mean, ma? Always either I manufacture one product or 0 products, but never negative production and all. Okay, so for that reason, because of this reason, in the case of graph, always that area should be in the first coordinate q1 basically. But there are special cases. The special cases will not be discussed now, because exam point of view they are not important. And I'm not meaning that I will skip that part. I will discuss that part, but at the end, when entire part B is done, because exam oriented and all, as we are having, we should be in a position to complete in 150 hours, and that does not mean we should run, and that does not mean we should skip the points. I will discuss, but in a full session, one entire session for those topics. At that time I will go with revision, and also I'll go with the discussion of extra points. Okay, so graph part once solution is done, if the parts are identified, coordinates, the points can be identified. That region, if the objective is z maximization or z minimization, we try to see what we try to see there, ma. If z is maximization, at those points where the z value is maximum, that should be identified, and that should be given the conclusion part. Okay, and if that is minimization, at all those points, coordinates and all, where the z value will be less, that should be identified clearly. Okay, is it clear, ma? That is regarding graphical method. Okay, and let us complete the graphical special cases. Take down the notes, ma. The first case is infeasible solution. So for online, so is the voice clear, ma? And for online buddies also, good morning, and for you also good morning. So what is the first case, ma? There, infeasible solution. Okay, sir, in the case of drafting a graph, once the graph is drafted, if you are getting a solution like this, it is a feasible solution. Okay, basically the keywords used there are optimal solution or a feasible solution, basically. Okay, and if the graph is in this way, it is fine, feasible solution. But can you see this one, ma? Is there any common area covered by the graphs? There is no common area covered by the graphs and all. At that point, we can tell that the solution is infeasible. Okay, but this point will apply at the last part. Graph, in the case of graph, when we are reaching the points, we plot the points now. Either we make it this like of a graph, or it can be this scenario. Based on this scenario, our conclusion will change. Okay, normally till now we got this graph. We got a common area. Based on that, we identified the points. But there can be scenarios where the graph can be infeasible. Reason, is there any common zone, ma? One straight line is going away from the origin, and one straight line is towards the origin. So there is no combination. Okay, for your convenience, write these points now. So if these points are noted by you, so try to solve those equations and give the values of x and y. Total you get the 4 points. And if anyone is through online and all, my humble request, if you are keeping pen on a paper, then it will be more effective. So how to solve the equation, ma? Basically, first instance we take x equal to 0 and find the value of y. And in similar way, we take y equal to 0 and find the value of x. For first equation, we solve the same way, and for second equation also we go the same pattern. Done, ma? What are the points for x and y, ma? For first equation, 0 comma 6 and 9 comma 0. Okay, and for next equation, 0 comma 10, 10 comma 0. If that points are done, try to make the graph. That I don't want to solve again and again. For that sake, I solved it prior. If your answer is done, compare with that. How many are having scale and pencil, ma? I've seen those things only from the first bench. So my humble request, if not now, at least in the prior upcoming sessions, I want you to have scale, pencil, eraser, sharpener. They're best friends for SC. So is this points done? And is the graph done by you? Sir, we will get a graph like this. Sir, basically our main motive, what is the main motive, ma? X comma y greater than or equal to 0. That should be satisfied. That point is clearly satisfied here. But however, is there any common zone? Okay. Sir, for a Z maximum, there should be common zone and the coordinate point should be identified. But here there is no common zone, common points and all. Anyone who are to the class only for this day, ma? Is this the first day for anyone? For anybody's? Okay. If you are having any issue and all, at the end you can ask me regarding doubts and all. And also till now whatever class is done, they are in the live YouTube and all. You can watch them. Okay. Okay, now is it clear, ma? So normally we are getting feasible solution, so fine. Here it is. What type of solution, ma? Infeasible solution. That is the first special case of graph. Normally we solve everything. At the end there can be conclusion part. So at the end you have to write this sentence. There is infeasible solution for a graph basically. Okay, am I clear with the question, ma? This is normally the last part of formulation. Once formulation is done, we find the solution. While you are calculating the solution and putting on the graph by marking the points and all, you may be getting different cases. Normally feasible solution till now whatever we done is done, but this is a special case where we will get infeasible solution. Okay, there is no solution for that case basically. Okay, and if it is done, shall we go with the next one, ma? Unbounded region. So the next one, unbounded region. Write the point. So these areas can be asked to you by them in MCQs. And the special point is that this region will arise only in the maximization case, not in all cases, ma. It arises only in the case of Z max. Then what is the step for basic step for solving the equations, ma? Converting the inequalities into equalities, and for each equation we are having more than one solution. So can anyone tell the solutions for the first case? Totally how many constraints we are having, ma? 1, 2, 3. 3 constraints. For the first one, the points can be 0, 7, 3.5, 0. And for second case and third case, the points can be 0, some value. Okay. Or else next one, it is 8, 0. 3.2. So if that value is done, then what is the next step, ma, there basically? There all the 3 equations are solved here. First equation scenario, second and third one. And the guys who are on live, basically, my humble request to solve them on the paper. Do not just watch. If you are solving them, it will be very good for you. There are the equations clear, ma? Any doubt in the equations? Buddy, any doubt in the equation, ma? Any doubt in the 3 equations? Sir, while solving, the most important aspect is that we may take x equal to 0. Then we find the value of y. And next scenario, we take y equal to 0 and find the value of x. So because of that, we are getting 2 points. Similarly, for x plus y is equal to 0, or y is equal to 0, automatically get the x value, and x equal to 0, get the y value. That are the two coordinates. And last equation, we take an assumption that x equal to 0, automatically we get 3.2. Okay, fraction is being divided properly and we are writing decimal spot. Okay, and the last case is points. If these points are plotted on the graph, how you are getting, that is important. And similar model is done by us already in the class. So you will get a graph like this. Basically, if you plot the points. Sir, do not copy, try now, because graphical method is important from exam point of view. When compared to simplex method, graphical method is easy and it consumes less time. Sir, for your convenience, I have mentioned a different color. You need not mention that color and all. Basically, you can go with the lines. Is the graph part done, ma? If the graph part is done, what all the lines representing which direction, ma? Away from the horizon. Sir, normally when we are finding the value of z, that is z maximization or z minimization, we need a bounded area. That is, for example, this is something called bounded area, basically. Or else, in the previous session, even this is a bounded area. It is to some area, it is restricted. But if we see our scenario, what is the scenario present we got, ma? It is unbounded zone. There it has n number of values. There are no limitations at all for this case. In such case, we may tell that it is unbounded solution or unbounded region. What is heading, ma? Unbounded region. And this mainly arises in the case of if z is maximization scenario only. Okay, because by seeing this scenario, can you tell the exact value of z, ma? That it is covering all the values here. Sir, can you tell the any value, specific value? There is no specific value for z to maximize it. There are n number of values. So for this reason, this is unbounded zone. So at the end, when you are getting answer, graph method and all, you have to give a conclusion. The solution is unbounded, has unbounded region and all. So we cannot find for that. If z maximum case. If it is z minimum, no issues. Z minimum of these values, there is one least value, na? That is very easy for us, basically. So this all is regarding maximum values. But if in the question itself is asking z minimum, then it is easy. Of these 4 values where z is minimum, it's fine. Okay, but if he's asking z maximum, is it possible to calculate more? Because all the values are into the maximization zone. Which value we cannot identify clearly because n number of values. Okay, is it clear with this one, ma? And what is it? Those key points, right? Those key points are there. Not bounded. We can find minimum value for z, but not maximum value. We can find minimum value for z, but not a maximum value. Sir, everyone done with the first graph? First graph. What is the first graph, ma? Infeasible. Okay, is it done by everyone? Graph part, drawing and all, it is done. Second one, ma? Infeasible is done by everyone, na? So I'm explaining again if I'm going fast and all. What is the first one, ma? Basically, infeasible. What is meant by infeasible zone, ma? There is no common bounded area. Common bounded area. Because one is going away and one is coming towards the origin. Because of that, we cannot identify the common zone. Okay, and this is a graph there. And normally, if you want to get a common zone and all, basically, this zone should be. But is it giving the direction, ma? It is not giving. One line is going away, one line is towards the origin. And if you go with other scenario, that is unbounded zone. The unbounded region, there are no boundaries. For every graph, we are identifying some common points, and then we are calculating z max or z min. But in this case, there will not be any bounded area. Okay, so for that reason, here z maximum is not possible to calculate. Okay, till here, if it is done graph part also, represent the lines. What are the lines and all with equations? If you are representing, it will be fine. Okay, and at the end, give the conclusion. These points are important from exam point of view. It is not bounded, and we can find the minimum value of z, but we cannot find the value of z max. Sir, we cannot find. What does it mean, ma? There is no one specific value which gives z max. N number of values are giving z max. That's the point. And one more point, unbounded region arises only in the maximization objective. These points are note points. While you are writing the note points and all, give them importance, ma. Do not combine those points with everyone. Just mark their star point or they are important from exam point of view. Is it done with the first cases? What is the first case, ma? What type of solution? Infeasible solution, because there is no common area, a different direction and all. And what about next scenario, ma? Unbounded region. Then it is entirely away from the origins and they are going with infinite points. Okay, and this situation arises only which case, ma? Z max or Z mini case? Z max. These points will be tested in MCQs. So be careful with these areas. Okay, done by everyone? Any points still pending by anyone, ma? If it is done till here, shall we go with the third special case? The third special case is most important, that is multiple optimum solutions. Multiple optimum solutions. Multiple optimum solutions. So optimum solution is known to you basically in the case of assignment, transportation and all. They used to ask us to find optimal solution. But in this scenario, Z maximum will be at 2 points or Z will be minimum at 2 points. That is the scenario, or not just 2 points, ma, more than 1 point. Okay, so try to solve this case, ma. The basic step regarding solving the inequalities is to convert them into equalities. Y is equal to what is the first point there, ma? Is it same or any changes? 3x plus 4y is equal to 24. x equal to 0, therefore 5 is equal to 24. Y is equal to 6, that is 0 comma 6. That is the first point. What about next point, ma? Y is equal to 0. If you take y is equal to 0, 8 comma 0. Just by substituting the values in the equation, we can get the values of points. If these 2 points are done in the face of first equation, try to solve the second equation, ma. Next, for the third equation, what are the points, ma? For the third equation, how many points you'll get, buddy? Normally, if the equation has two variables, you will get 2 points. But in this case, how many variables, ma? As there is only one variable, straight away write it as x equal to 5. That means 5 comma 0. Okay. And similarly, what is in fourth equation, ma? Y less than or equal to 6. So that is y equal to 6. That is 0 comma 6. These are the total points we'll get. If these points are done, can you cross check those points with your answers? Done with the graph? Sir, if the graph is done, can you give the value of z maximum for this scenario? If the entire portion is done, you will get a graph similar to this. Do not copy, do by yourself. If there is any difference, you can have a cross check. So first two straight lines will be in different way, and second last two lines will be in a different way, because last two lines are having only one coordinate. Okay, that is x equal to 5 and other one y equal to 6. There is these points clear, ma? Mainly clear, everyone clear with these points now? So if you are done with these points and all, you can also plot these two lines, basically 0 comma 6, 0 comma 8 comma 0, 0 comma 8, 6 comma 0. If those 2 points are done, so regarding next two areas, x equal to 5, it represents that the point is on x axis, and y equal to 6 represents that line is on y axis. Okay, it will be a straight line parallel to x-axis basically. So these two lines are those. And by identifying the common bounded zone or common region, you can get the values. Any doubt, ma? After done this with this part, and I'll go with Z maximum. Sir, everyone is okay with the solving equations? Buddies, equations okay kadamma? Solve చేయటం అనేది. Sir, ఒకవేళ రాదు అంటే when you are going to home, practice once. Okay, and if then also you are not clear with the equations, you can ask me in the next sessions. Any other region other than this same region? The graph need not be exact. If it is similar, it's fine, because the points may be, the way you are taking may be different, but the end you should get the answer, that is values of B and C should be same. Can you tell the value of B, ma? How to get the value of B? Basically point B. Which equations to be solved, ma? 8x plus 6y is equal to 48 and 3x plus 4y is equal to 24. These two equations you need to solve. Okay, definitely do the solution part and give the points. And whatever points I mentioned there, they are not correct. They are wrong. So try to identify the points by yourself. Identify the exact points regarding B and C. What is the correct value of B, ma? But the value I have written there is wrong, not appropriate. Same or a different value, ma? Same value. Okay. What about point C? What about point C, ma? Is it same or a different point? What are the values of point C? Sir, can anyone give the information regarding C? Anyone done with the point C? What are the values? 5 comma 4 by 3, 4 by 3. So if these values are done, can you give the Z max me for me? Z maximization. Where you are getting Z max. What is Z max at A, ma? Value of Z at A. What is Z max equation, ma? 4x plus 3y. So at the origin point, what will be the value of Z max, ma? It will be 0, basically. And what about A, ma? At A point, the value will be 18. And what about at the value of B, ma? At the point B? Z max at the point B. There is a graph done by everyone. Anyone still doing the graph part, ma? And one more thing, do not feel that you are slow. It is maths. Normally, it is not our subject. Anyone from MPC, ma? Except me. I am from MPC. Okay, you are also from MPC. Fine. Long back in 10th, somewhere we will get these things. Basically, graphs, 10th low. Sir, what about B, ma? 24. What about C? Okay. So what is the heading there? Multiple optimum solutions. What we need to find, Z max. If you go with Z max and all, basically once you are substituting the values, you are getting 24 at 2 zones. Okay, so Z is maximum at 2 areas basically. And if you represent this equation, these points at the line, what is the line area, ma, in the graph? This area. At this area, Z will be always same and max. Okay. If it is clear, write the conclusion there, ma. Mainly exam point of view, we have to write this conclusion in the case of graphs. Z is maximum at B comma C and value is 24. Also represent the points. What is B point and C point? Is it clear, ma? Done with the conclusion. There always conclusion plays a crucial role. If you are not writing the conclusion and all, they may take 2 to 3 marks. You may not conclude that conclusion will be having only 1 mark. It is important. So after the conclusion is done, give some underline there. And Z maximum has multiple optimum solutions. Sir, when will we use graphical method, ma? Any idea? Only 2 variables. But if there are more than 2 variables, or 2 variables, we can go with the simplex method. Okay. So go with the second, fourth case, last case, redundancy. So done or still anyone doing ma? Third case, is it done by everyone? Third case. If third case is done, go with the fourth last scenario, that is special case in the graphical method. So to solve the equations or to convert these inequalities, what is the first step, ma? To convert them into equalities. So by converting into equalities, what is the answer for first equation, ma? Coordinates 0, 10, 5, 0, and that is next one is 6 and 2. Regarding redundancy and all, the graph part is done. Then we shall go with the explanation part. Of the 4 cases, first 3 cases are clear now. Last case. Sir, in the last case, what are the equations we are having now? 2x plus y is equal to 10, and second one, x equal to 6 and y equal to 2. If you mark those areas, basically, if you mark those areas, so this is going away from the away, and this is also away, and this is also away. But what is the common zone there? Common zone. Sir, can I cover this area with marking? If I cover this entire area, but this line x equal to 6 is not representing that area, no? And if I cover this entire area, y equal to 2 is not covering that zone also, no? So to cover all the areas, I am marking this zone, that is this area is satisfying the two equations, but it is not satisfying which equation ma? 2x plus y is equal to 0. That is not in the covered zone. For this reason, we are writing the point as, what is that point ma? Is not touching the shaded portion. Whatever shaded portion or common zone and all, it is not touching at all. In this case, this line is known as what ma? Redundant. Whatever line we are having, that is 2x plus y is equal to 0, it is there now, it is known as redundant. All the four special cases clear ma? Write that point there. Yep. So what are the four special cases? Can you tell the first point? Or else let us go to the last case first. What is the last case ma? Redundant. So in the case of redundancy, there are normally some equations and which some lines will not come with the common shaded zone. That line will be known as redundant area basically. And what is the next topic ma? Multiple optimum solutions. So is it done by everyone ma? Is the content written by everyone? Okay. So in the MCQs and even in graphical method, the conclusion can be 4 scenarios. Okay. If it is covered, that is feasible solution, fine. But if it is not covered and all, if different cases, the conclusion will change. Okay. Clear ma? If it is done, what is the last prior topic ma? Multiple optimum solutions. Here Z will be having more than one value. That points are identified there and you need to mention them clearly. Okay. And prior topic, unbounded region. Sir, last class we have done some problem similar to this case. One problem we have done the similar point basically. At the time I didn't explain because the special cases should be separately explained now. So I mentioned this point. Okay. And next, what is other area ma? Infeasible solution. The two lines are not at all giving a common zone. Common zone is basically required for us, minimum. Okay. These are the 4 special cases. Exam point of view, they are important for MCQs and even to write the conclusion part. Sir, and most important aspect ma in the linear programming problem for exams, formulation is one important thing. Next one, you may get a duality and you may get a graph. Okay. And if you are very lucky, and it is, and if the examiner or valuationer who has set the paper and all, basically if they are feeling that it is required, they will go with simplex method. Okay. Lifetime, if this problem arises in the question, my humble request, do not touch. My humble request, do not touch it. Okay. It is easy, but do not touch. Okay. And I will explain it. I will not skip that part. Okay. Reason, what is the reason and all? I will give the answer first. I will show the answer. If you are feeling happy, then superb. If you are not feeling happy, then it's fine. Sir, what are the cases ma? Maximum 3 points. Formulation, duality and graphical method. Okay. And the most excellent point is what ma? Simplex method. Okay. In the simplex method, can you tell the spelling ma? Simple plus x. But it is not really simple. Okay. Spelling మాత్రమే సింపుల్ కానీ రియాలిటీకి వెళ్తే అది సింపులే కానీ చాలా టైం తీసుకుంటుంది. ప్లస్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయడానికి నాకు 45 minutes to 1 hour పడుతుంది. అది మీరు చేయడానికి ఒక మీ ఇష్టం ఇంకా. ఓకే. మ్యాక్సిమం వచ్చే మార్క్స్ ఎంతమ్మా అంటే లీనియర్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ నుంచి 7. లక్కీకి వద్ద ఒక 10 marks అనుకుందాం. ఆ 10 marksకి దాన్ని మీరు లాగి పీకి రాసిన తర్వాత వచ్చే మార్క్స్ కూడా 10. పొరపాటున 1 నెంబర్ బదులు 0 పెట్టినా, 0 నెంబర్ బదులు 1 పెట్టినా మొత్తం పోతుంది. అలా అని చెప్పి నేనైతే మాత్రం స్కిప్ చేయను ఆ టాపిక్. ఓకే. నాకు కావాల్సింది ఏంటంటే ఆ టాపిక్ డిస్కస్ చేసేటప్పుడు when I am discussing that topic I need full session. So I will take entire full session, that is around There are 2-3 problems here. So for the entire problems, I'll take 1 day. That too when initially I mentioned earlier that I will discuss entire part here. But I felt even if I'm discussing, time waste. Now, okay, but I will take that part and other areas. Normally from exam oriented, if you see the past papers, whatever required for MCQs also done till here. Basically, whatever problems left over now, of them few problems are related to simplex method, okay, and others are regarding duality, but a different case. The two zones, whatever there, and even optimum solution, okay. In the case of transportation problem, there is something called initial basic feasible solution, and after some time you go with UV method. Similarly, in the case of linear programming also, simplex method is like UV method. చేస్తూ ఉంటాం చేస్తూ ఉంటాం చేస్తూ ఉంటాం చేస్తూ ఉంటాం, ఓకే. ఆన్సర్ వాడికి నచ్చినప్పుడు వస్తుంది, ఓకే. ఒక్కొక్కసారి రాదు. రాదు అంటే ఏంటమ్మా అంటే ఒక స్టెప్లో రాదు. ఇట్ కెన్ టేక్ 4 times ఆర్ 3 times ఆర్ ఈవెన్ మీ ఇష్టం. ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మీకు ఇంప్రూవ్డ్ మ్యాట్రిక్స్ ఐడియా ఉందా అసైన్మెంట్లో? when you are going with improved matrix and all, what we will do, we will try to identify the least number and try to cover the zeros. Sometimes to play with us, what they will do, they will give n number of times of improvements. పొరపాటున 6x6 మ్యాట్రిక్స్ మిషన్ ఏదో ప్రాబ్లం ఉండేది, ఓకే. పాత మిషన్ పీకేసి కొత్త మిషన్ యాడ్ చేయడానికి అడుగుతాడు. 6x6 కాస్త 7x7 అవుతుంది. అప్పుడు మనం చుక్కలు చూస్తాం, ఓకేనా. ఇలాంటి కేసు ఇది కేటగిరీ. ఎగ్జామ్లో వస్తుందంటే వస్తే 99% కాదు, 100% రాదు. వస్తే మీరు నేను తిట్టుకోకూడదు కాబట్టి నేను చెప్తాను, ఓకే. అంటే లాస్ట్లో ఇప్పుడు వద్దు. మెయిన్గా సింప్లెక్స్ అంటే మీకు చూపిస్తా ఫస్ట్ ఆన్సర్, దాన్ని బట్టి మీకు క్లారిటీ వస్తుంది. అసలు దాంట్లో దిగచ్చా దిగకూడదా, ట్రై చేయొచ్చా లేదా, ఓకే. లాస్ట్ ఒకసారి చూద్దాం. ఫస్ట్ మీకు డ్యూయాలిటీ మోడల్ చూడండి ఒకసారి. సార్ వన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ డ్యూయాలిటీ మోడల్. సో ఈజ్ ఇట్ టఫ్ టు సాల్వ్ డ్యూయాలిటీ ఆర్ ఈజీ టు సాల్వ్? Basically dual model is చాలా easy. It is very easy for us to solve. So by seeing this equation, is it satisfying the basic conditions or not? For duality problem, what is the basic condition? Objective, if it is minimization, how the constraint should be greater than or equal to? Are they satisfying? Objective maximization means the constraint should be less than or equal. So in this case, as they are satisfying, can you find the dual model for this? Okay, just write the question once and do it faster. Dual problem is important from exam point of view. There is a question copied by everyone. So if the question is done by you, I will repeat the process of duality then you can get more clarity, because we have not done the problems of duality, basically more problems. Sir, this is the constraint number 1, 2, and 3. Sir, mainly what is the objective here, ma? Z minimum. The fourth one would have 10x1 plus 40x2 greater than or equal to 40. So, anyone done with the answer? Done, fine, or else we shall repeat once more for your sake. Are the 4 constraints done now? Any more constraint? So in this case, basically, the first step. Sir, if the objective is Z minimization, what will be the objective in the dual model, ma? And one more thing, this model is known as what, buddy? What is this model known as? Primal model. So for your convenience, right here, primal model. Dual model. So regarding dual model, I can use the same letter as objective function or a different letter, that is up to me. Okay. W, or else I can write Z dash, but give the Z representation clearly. Okay. So either you can go for Z dash or W, that is up to you. Any one letter. Okay. At the end you write Z dash, what is the general. Okay. It will be what, ma? Minimum or maximum, ma? Maximum. That is one point. And next point, sorry for Telugu and all, ma. I'll go with only English. Okay. Sir, here is it clear, ma? What is the Z minimum, ma? There, Z minimum is regarding 6000 x1 plus 4000 x2. That is minimization point of view. When we are going with the minimization point of view, what about the other objective in the dual model, ma? It will be maximization. So that is done clearly there. And the representations are changing by us. That is y1, y2, y3 and y4 for our convenience. So we are changing the points. Now, can you write the first constraint there in the dual model? How it will be, ma? Just taking this entire part. Okay, that is how to take this entire part, ma? 4y1 plus 9y2 plus, I will mention this one so that it will be, okay, that area, and we are taking this part together. Okay, so next, what is next part there, ma? 7y2 plus 10, sorry, y3 and 10 y4. What is the next value there? Next symbol first. What is the symbol there? Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to? Less than or equal to. It will change quite opposite. Okay. And what is the value there, ma? Sir, 6000 should be the value. Is it clear with that part? Now, sir, regarding the next part will be based on the next area. That is this. Am I clear? So can you tell the next area part, ma, once? y1 plus y2 plus 3y3 plus 40y4. Symbol less than or equal to 4000. Here we are taking with zone, ma, entire this zone. Okay. For this sake and all, basically in ICMA he has given RHS, LHS table and all. You can go with simple pattern. Sir, simple pattern basically on the way you are writing. If you are writing in a proper order, dual model will be easy. Am I clear, ma? So we are done with the constraint part. But what is still pending there, ma? Objective function. Sir, what will be the objective function there? Sir, Z maximum is equal to whatever the values here, they will be forming part of our objective function. So that will be how much, ma? Value 12 y1 plus 20 y2 plus 18 y3 plus 40 y4. Is it clear, ma? Sir, and is there anything part left over there? Non-negative factors. What are those non-negative factors, ma? y1, comma, y2, comma, y3, comma, y4. Sorry, greater than or equal to 0, or you can write individually y1 greater than or equal to 0, y2 greater than or equal to 0, and all points. Okay, till here is it done, ma? So at this point itself, I want to explain some other concept called slack variable. What is that point, ma? Slack variable. Okay, shall I? Till here, if it is done. Regarding this question itself, they may ask sometimes to ask us to convert into equalities. They are not asking us to solve through graphical method. They may ask us to do what, ma? Equalities. Convert the equation into equality, basically. Okay, shall we? Till here done, ma? Everyone? If till here you are done with that part, basically dual model is important from exam point of view. So whatever objective is given in the primal model will be quite opposite there in the case of dual model. Maximization of profit will become minimization of cost. Whatever variables here, decision variables given there, or values, constraints given there, will be forming part of their objective function. That's the point. Okay, is it clear, ma? So now, is it right, ma? 6 equal to 11? Is it right? 6 equal to 11. What makes it 6 equal to 11, ma? What is that point, ma? 6 plus 5 will make it 11. Okay. For example, what are the equations we are having here, ma? In equation, let us go with the basic equation. 10x1 plus 40x2 less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, ma? Less than or equal to how much value? What is the value there? Greater than or equal to 40. Let us go with this case, basically. Less than or equal to 40. That either this equation, if we solve, you will get either 40 or less than 40. Equal to 40, it is fine. For example, this entire equation 10x1 plus 40x2, if it is equal to 40, it's very fine. But what if the other case, what is the other case? Less than. To make it equalizing it to that 40 and all, we are adding some variable called slack variable. What is that, ma? To make it equal. For example, basically, if it is satisfying this condition, fine. But if it is less than that, so for this 10x1 plus 40x2, we are adding some variable to make it equal to 40. This variable, whatever we are adding, is known as what, ma? Slack variable. So that is represented with the letter S. Okay. How it is represented, ma? With S it is represented. Okay. So what are the equations? For example, it is applicable only in the case of less than or equal to. Okay. But if it is greater than or equal to, it is known as surplus variable. What is in the case of less than or equal to, it is known as, ma? Slack variable. If it is greater than or equal to, it is known as surplus variable. Okay. That concept and all, when we are dealing with a simplex model, we can deal basically. Now just if you are having the idea, that is sufficient. Is that point clear, ma? So normally is the equation satisfying the condition or not, ma? Sometimes it may or it may not. Sometimes it may be equal, then it's fine. But sometimes if it is less, to make it equal, what are we adding, ma? Slack variable to make it equalizing. So based on the number of equations. So for example, in this case, how many equations are there, ma? 4 constraints. For 4 constraints, if they are less than or equal to, you will get 4 slack variables. How many slack variables, ma? 4 slack variables. These same slack variables are basically represented in the objective function also. Okay. In the objective function, for example, what is the objective function here, ma? 13x1, oh sorry, 6000 x1 plus 4000 x2. Sir, in the constraints, you will add s1, s2, s3, s4 and write equality. And in the case of objective function also, you have to add these slack variables. But however, 0 into s1 plus 0 into s2 plus 0 into s. 3 plus 0 into S4. Is it clear with the point now? In the objective function, how we are representing 0 into S1? What is the end effect, ma? 0. What is the end effect of these all values? Our objective will not change, basically. Okay, is it clear, ma? So this continuation part is simplex model. I will show the simplex model now. Okay, just I will show it. I will not discuss. I am telling on the face. Okay, if I am discussing now, whatever linear programming till now we discussed will be going away. Okay, and in exam, they will never give up. But if they are not having kits and all, okay, the guy who is setting the exam paper is if he is not having kits and he wants you to make you cry, he will use simplex model. Okay, I am telling the harsh reality. Okay, and automatically ICMA is very good for us. They will not do such things. They are genuine persons. It may be in the case of ICAI. Okay, not in other cases. Maximum. But however, for simplex model, I need entire session basically. Okay. Shall we go with the answer once for the sake of your convenience so that you will be satisfied? Why I am not discussing that and all. Seventh question basically is simplex model. Okay. Straight away, which model, ma? Simplex model. Sir, how can we conclude that? Straight away, he gave that point. Fine. Sir, answer started here, sir. Basically, first part is common, na? Formulation part. Started there. And next part, see this area, ma? Slack variables plus some additional variables are there as it is greater than or equal to. Okay, that is next scenario. And going on there, again drafting it. Next again, first table number 1. Okay, see the table, how beautiful it is. Okay, and next table 2. Okay, very small table, ma. And finally, going with the third table, table 3, and table 4. Okay, totally how many tables, ma? 4 tables. Sir, by this time we can complete the entire SCM paper. Okay, so I will never skip this point because they will not give. If they are also giving, I might humbly request you to leave that part. I will discuss in the last session when the entire part B is done, so that you are safe and I am safe. You may conclude that why sir is discussing these unnecessary things and all. So unnecessary things and all, the last, when you are feeling fine. Okay, and table 5. Okay, how many tables, ma? 5 tables, and every table is very small size. Just within 1 minute you can complete entire table part. Is it fine? So it is your wish. Now I really don't require, or it is better not to discuss now, because we are in a phase where we are getting everything which is required for us maximum. Okay, so if I discuss all the 5 tables, for me to draft is easy. Just I will copy the table and I will paste it, but you cannot copy. Every time 5 tables are required. By luck, sir, basic logic, ma. I will tell the basic logic point here. When you are finding this value, that is Ci minus Cj minus Zj, if you are getting either 0 or negative value, your answer is done. If you are getting this answer, these values, either 0 or a negative value, your answer is done. Okay, but normally it will not come in the first step. It will take 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Okay, and here you need to find ratios. Ratios, is it known to you? For some 2 columns and 2 rows, we have to find the ratios and use that information for entire solving. Okay, and you have to write everything there. What you have done there, you have to write these things all mandatory for that. Okay, so shall we deal now? No, I'm very fine. Okay, and for me to discuss, I need a full session of minimum 1 hour for discussion. Once discussion is done, to write and all, it will take much time. So for the time being and for our healthy sake, okay, for our benefit, I am skipping that part. Not leaving for the time being. At the last, we shall discuss. Okay, mark those area, ma. In the linear programming, what is the topic pending there, buddy? Simplex model is pending. Okay, other models are done. Okay. Sir, even the past questions are also done. And some questions which are exceptional cases. I left few questions. In the duality model, basically in the duality model also few points are kept aside. And correct the 17th question. In the 17th question, there is one sentence missing there. In the 17th question, one sentence is missing. Sir, can you identify the missing point now? Basically, by seeing the question, not the answer. What is the area missing there, ma? What is the area missing there? Read the question thoroughly and identify the area which is missing there. Sir, what is missing there, ma? I didn't get you, ma. I'm not audible. So can you, and you are not audible. So can you raise your volume? And what is missing? I want individual answers. There is no wrong answer. So whatever you tell is fine. Objective function is missing 1 point. Next one. Okay, that is 1 point clear. This is regarding objective function, also similar point. Next, any other points? Any other points? No? Any other points, my dear buddies? Is the question clear first? Sir, what is the first sentence there, ma? A company makes 3 products X, Y, Z using raw materials A, B, C. Okay. What are the products they are making, ma? X, Y, Z. The company, you are the company and you are making products X, Y, Z. What are the raw materials, ma? A, B, and C. Requirements of raw material for each product X, Y, Z are given below. Okay. For each product of X, what is the raw material required is given clear. What is that, ma? 1 unit of raw material A, 2 units of raw material B, and 2 units of C. That is given there. And next, for product Y, what is required given. And for product Z, what is required given. Okay. And optimum, find the optimum product mix. He is asking us to find optimum product mix and all. That also will be discussed when we are dealing with simplex model. Okay, basically. And when it is given, XYZ is giving a profit of 40, 25, and 50. So by having this information, can you frame a table, ma? Table. What are the products we are having? X, Y, Z. So X, Y, Z. Okay. And A, B, C are the raw materials required. Sir, for X, what is the raw material A required? How much units? 1 unit. For B, sorry, B, how much for X, ma? 2 units. And C, and regarding Y, what is the ratio there, ma? 2, 1, 5. For Z, 1, 4, 1. Okay. Sir, profit is given there basically. What is the profit, ma? 40, 25, 50. You are a company from basic point of view. What is the objective? Okay. Sir, if he is not giving straight away, you can go with your own assumption. By seeing the draft in the table, you can get the idea. So drafting table plays a crucial role. Sir, key in the key itself, in the key also they will not give the table part. But it is your responsibility to draft a table for your sake. Once you draft a table, are you clear with the objective? But what is still missing there? Anything missing there? Something is missing. What is it? How much raw material is available to us? Is it given there, ma? That part is missing in the question. So write the points. 36, 60, and 45 is the raw material available to us. 36, 60 and 45. Clear? This point is missing in ICMA also. Our buddies are also not knowing that part. So mention that part. Sir, whatever be the problem, first of all, I am telling ma, I discussed only three concepts in the LPP. One is formulation, dual model, and graphical model. If that question is visible there, you solve that part, only that part. Okay, whatever other parts, as of now, it is unnecessary to discuss. Okay, as we are going with a pattern, that will disturb that point. Even you can take A category, Z plus category, those areas won't be. They are worst categories. They will kill your time and they will kill your marks. So it is not good for your health. Now, I will not skip that part. I'll discuss. Okay, is it clear, ma? With that point? Okay, if it is clear with that question and all, give me the videos. Sir, same question I corrected here and all. Sir, not required to go with the optimum mix and all. If you want to practice, only practice formulation and other part dual model. Do not go with other parts. Okay. And even question number 8. Okay. Sir, question number 8 is most important, but for the time being, I am keeping it in a hold. Dual model only, as you are having the idea to go with the dual model and all. Okay. Sir, here, if you can you observe any different point here, ma? Any different point in all the equations, constraints? There is a first constraint, fine. And what is this objective, ma? Maximization. So same point is clear. But what about the second equation, ma? Equal to. When there is equal to and all, we have to draft two more sub equations. Basically, sir, I will just explain, ma. I will not solve now, but for your basic idea. Okay. And whatever linear programming part that is and all done in the afternoon itself, I will start transportation part. Basically important for us. Last session, last exam, how many marks, ma? Transportation, how many marks? Which method? WAM. WAM is given there. Normally we used to call it as WAM or Ogle's approximation method. Okay. Sir, when the equation is given with equal to, we will convert the entire equation into x1 plus 2x2 less than or equal to 4, and other equation x1 2x2 greater than or equal to 4. Sir, we will convert the equality into two scenarios. But for our target, what is our target, ma? Maximization. For maximization, what should be the constraints? Less than or equal to. Sir, this is fine, na? This is clear. So what about this zone, ma? Is it clear now? It is satisfying the condition. But what about this point, ma? It is not satisfying the condition. What we should do there, ma? Convert into the symbol which is required. For converting, what we should do? Multiply with a negative sign. Sir, when we are multiplying with a negative sign and all, minus x1 minus 2x2 less than or equal to minus 4. Okay. Once all the equations are done, now we are having additional equation. Okay, once we are getting the additional equations and all, straight away can go the process. Okay, now do not do that part. Basically, I am giving idea so that you will not tell that SAR skipped some parts. Okay, next. Is it somehow similar to that one, ma? The special point is here like this. Now itself mark those areas. Question number 9 and question number 8. What is the special area, ma? In the question number 8, what is the special area? Equal to zone. That is the special area. Sir, while preparing the dual problems and all, give some importance to these zones. That I will discuss definitely and I will not skip, but I am giving the brief idea. What is the point, sir? Here, when the equality symbol is given, we need to bifurcate that entire equation into two parts. One is less than or equal to, and other one is greater than or equal to. Less than or equal to, it's satisfying the condition because it is our Z maximization. but this is not satisfying now. For that we need to convert it. So mark this problem basically. Okay, one full session is required for this simplex model and these things, but I will take entire full session and all, depends upon scenario. Okay, and next, what about ninth question mark? That is also important. Mark that area mark. Sir, here some more information is given to you. What is that mark? Unrestricted in sign. Even in this case also you will solve a different way. So normally straight away do not go with the old process. Whatever we are doing in the dual model and all, do not go with that part. But till then, when we are discussing, should be having the basic models. Okay, they will normally go with the basic models and all. And I don't want to take any chance of risk and all. So I will discuss this part. When compared to simplex, this is easy. Okay, and next question number 10 is also important. Sir, in the question number 10, what are the sub Roman numbers, ma? What are the sub Roman numbers? First one, formulate the LPP. So nothing but formulation part. What about second part, ma? Is asking us to find dual. That is also easy. But what about third one, ma? It is not simple. For that reason, as it is having simplex part and all, I am skipping this question also for the time being. Okay. So simplex question, if you start solving and all, it will take around 1 hour. And my humble request, normally they will not give simplex model in the exam. But if they are giving, what you will do, ma? Will you touch it or will you simply leave it? Simply leave it. But I will not leave it for your sake. I will discuss. Okay, because sometimes it is easy and it is done in only in the table one. Sometimes. Okay, when it will be done and all, we will not do. Okay, that's the point. Clear with this part, ma? So till now, whatever we discussed, that is sufficient basically for all the problems, and whatever I left there, whatever the zones left over there, ma, only simplex model and optimal solution. Okay, mark that area. Some parts are pending now. So leave in your notes part basically. Leave 5 papers. Paper and page clear na? Paper full sheet both sides. Leave the 5 parts. 5 papers so that we will cover all those pending portions. Sir, if the pages are left over there, you will definitely remember that sir has skipped some portion na? And you will definitely ask me. For that reason, I am asking you to leave the 5 papers. Okay? Is it done? So normally from this zone, theory is very less chance to be in the exams. Very less chance. Okay, but I don't want to skip that part. You may feel that it is required and all. We shall go with whatever theory, unnecessary theory, I'll discuss at the end. Okay, mainly if you see all the past papers from the 2022 syllabus, mainly you are getting practical part, that is questions, solving and all, not theory. Okay, is it clear? Sir, and I will go with the half part of transportation, just basic introduction. And we shall go with the other part in the next session. Okay, shall we? One second. Just I'm giving the brief idea about what it is. The transportation is the most important area, and my humble request, if you are having any doubts in the initial stages, you can ask after each session. Okay, and do not skip that portion. So what is the topic, ma? Transportation. Sir, from company point of view, can you give basic information why transportation is important for organization? Why? Sir, you are the upcoming cost accountants. And for you, what is the purpose of this transportation? And for you, what is the purpose of LPP? Being a cost accountant, what is the requirement of learning LPP and all? Sir, organization is hiring you so that you guide the organization in a miserable situation or a worse situation. For that sake, they are paying 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs on package and all. No? Some package, some good package, some beautiful handsome package. So the reason is that you should be involved from company point of view. Okay, and you should guide the company when they are in a situation to reduce the cost or to make the cost optimum. Okay, so similarly, what is your basic responsibility from LPP? As there are limited constraints and all, you guide them to go with the optimum proportionate share, which product should be sold much and which product should be less and all by using graph and all. Normally we will not solve in the reality, everything done through software, but software sometimes may fail. So we should be having basic idea, no? Further we are learning this. And now the next topic is transportation. Sir, marks point of view, what is the range? You can tell the range by seeing the last paper. 14 marks is the question point of view. Sometimes they may ask MCQs also. Totally from this zone, how many marks you can expect, ma? 7 to 16 marks, including MCQs. I'm adding. Sometimes it can be plus 2 or more MCQs, then marks may change. How many marks, ma? 7 to 16 marks. Mainly very important. Okay. So transportation, what does that mean? For company, is it important or not? If important, why? What you are a company. So for example, keep that you are a cost accountant aside and all. You started a company and you are manufacturing LCD screens or some projectors. What is your main important task? You are a company, you are manufacturing projectors. What is your main important task? Selling them to the customers. Okay, for example, projectors are done, manufactured, they are in the godown, and we are telling the projectors to go away to the customers. Will they fly in the sky? What is required? Some connectivity is required from our manufacturing factory location to the customer location. These 2 points are met through what, ma? Transportation. Okay, fine. Transportation is used to reach the zone and all. So whatever the best zone shall I use, or the zone which is best to me shall I use? So for example, you guys, after done with your CMA exams, you are planning for a trip. Okay, some area, some location, you fix the location and all. So will you decide for a best route, best alternative route from the point where to and which location? Google Tally will be giving the directions. Best alternatives will be given by the Google. Okay, of those best alternatives, which alternative will decide on? Sir, is time important? So for example, from here to Araku or from here to Coorg, you are planning for a trip. So will you take the shortest distance Fine. Shortage distance, superb, sir. What about cost aspect? Sir, unlimited money. Normal. Unlimited money, ma. Even if it is unlimited money, we are not Ambanis. We are normal guys. So we think of cost also. We try to go with the alternative which is best. Sir, anyway, basically railway journey or railways is the best option. Sir, with the railways, will you go with the general class or some basic requirements also required now? Sir, anyway, cheap and best. So cheap and best, not just cheap. We are requiring both cheap and best. That is nothing but optimal area. So from company point of view, if you see the point, sir, there are one. If there is only one factory, will you think of the best route? Will you think of best way to reach only one factory? There is only one factory. Definitely you have to give the points to warehouse or customer. Na? Definitely you'll go with alternatives. Okay. But if the route, you may decide with the route. Definitely have to transport the goods, but definitely have to think of the time taken there and best route there. But if there is a scenario where there are more than one factory, what I will decide? There is more than one factory and there is more than one warehouse. There is the first scenario clear, ma? There is only one factory and 3 warehouses. Will you think of whether to transport or not? Definitely have to transport, and I definitely have to go with the routes existing there. There is no alternative for me. Definitely from 1 to, that is from warehouse to, I have to carry on the goods to the location, basically. That is for sure. But if there is a scenario where there are more than one factory and there are more than one warehouse or customer points, what I will decide, ma? Cost and the goods needed. These two aspects will be taken into consideration. Na? How many goods I have to carry to the customer? Okay, sir, is transportation really important for you? Let us go with a practical example. Ratndeep or a DMart. Okay, for example, if they feel that this is the go down for a DMart, there are Sanat Nagar DMart and any other DMarts, ma? Pukatpalli. Next, any other DMarts? Some area. Okay, so for example, if this is the only warehouse we are having, straight away without any other alternative, I have to transport the goods. Okay, but I am having more demand points, that is Ratndeeps and all, sorry, DMart, and I am having more than one factory point. Then I will decide the distance now. Sir, whether from here the distance is less or from here the distance is less. I will identify the location and I will fix for that alternative. Because for a company, what is important now? Profit maximization, cost minimization. The cost is involved or not? Kilometers into charge per kilometer. That required. Na? So based on that, I will identify the best alternative for me to reach the end point. What is the starting point in this case? Factory. From factory, what are we doing? We are supplying the goods. To which point, ma? To the point where the customer is there, and that point is having demand. Okay, what are the two most important aspects, ma, in the transportation? Supply and demand. What is that point, ma? Supply and demand. Okay, from the supply points, I am trying to meet the demand point. Sir, while meeting the point, I should ensure the best route to find that so that my objective is achieved. What is my objective here in the case? Minimization of cost, that is transportation cost. Okay, is it clear with that part, ma? So transportation is very, very important. And normally, how many methods are there in the case of transportation? Any idea? So is it clear? To conclude whatever I said there, what is the point I said, ma? If there is only one factory, no second thought, I will transport the goods based on the available route. But if there are more than one factory and there are more than one warehouse, what I will decide, ma? The best alternative route, so that my cost should be minimized. Okay, for this all, the solution we can find through 3 methods. What are those 3 methods? Any idea? Any idea? And one more point, ma. So let us go with the methods first. What are the methods? Least cost method. Next one, northwest corner rule, and third one, Vogel's approximation method. Sir, my humble request. Okay, do not skip any method. By luck, if they are asking us to find least cost method, we are the happiest persons. Even northwest corner will also easy. But VAM will not be tough. It will take some extra time, that's all. Because penalty calculation and all plays a crucial role. Okay, but how to calculate penalty and all I will discuss detailedly. And if you are having the earlier idea, that is fine. If not, then also fine. Okay, so I will discuss in such a way that you will be okay with the topics. Okay, so now what is the sentence now? Can you get sentence? So that the cost is minimized and individual capacity of each factory is exhausted. This is the key point in entire problems. When you are going to transportation to find the solution, what you should achieve, ma? Cost should be minimized. And what is next point, ma? Each factory's supply should be exhausted. So, for example, in factory 1, I manufactured 5,000 units, basically. And in factory 2, I manufactured 6,000 units. And in factory 3, I manufactured 2,000 units. And here, sir, warehouse 1 needs 4,000 goods. How many goods they need, ma? From the warehouse, they will reach the customer and all. That is not required for us. And from warehouse 2, for example, we need 2,000. And what is the total here, ma? But in here is clear, total. Basic rule, supply should be equal to demand part. That's the basic rule. If it is not equal, what we should do? Any idea? We should balance it by adding the shortage area. Where there is shortage, demand part or supply part, if there is shortage, that we should add it by W. That I will discuss, but I am giving a brief idea. Okay. So regarding this area, is it clear, ma? What is the total of this part? 13,000. What is this part, ma? So demand equal to supply. So it is a balanced scenario. Now, when you are transporting the goods, what is main objective? Cost minimization. And the second objective is that, sir, when you are starting with a factory 1, basically try to complete the entire portion of 5,000. Basic rule. Sir, 5,000 fully should be exhausted, means we should complete the supply of 5,000 fully. Then go with the next one. Basic things. Sometimes, depending upon the method, we may change. But basic rule is that all the supply portion should be exhausted, basically. Okay, that is the basic rule. Is it clear, ma? And next. Sir, steps to solve transportation problem. What is the first one, ma? First step. What is the first one? Check whether it is maximization objective or minimization objective. Sir, for example, for a salesperson, he is also required to transfer from travel from one zone to other zone. Na? There also transportation cost is involved. For example, you are the cost accountant and you are the internal auditor for a company. You need to travel from different zones. Na? For you also, there is a transportation cost. Na? So you also try to minimize the cost. Or else you are into practice. What are you into, ma? You are into practice. Okay. Sir, when you are traveling between the different branches and all, you try to have a thought of maximization of your profit. And at the time, what is your main objective, ma? Minimization of transportation cost. For example, you are having a cost audit firm. You are sending your interns or that is articles to whom? To the branches. While you are trying to send them, will you try to send them through flight every time? If it is an emergency, you send through flight. Otherwise, what you will do, ma? To maximize the fees amount collected, we go with the train or railways, better option. Then we'll get any issue. So here also, everywhere there will be maximization objective and minimization objective. But if you are having income, then what is your objective, ma? That is maximization. If you are planning to maximize the revenue and all, what is your objective, ma? Maximization. And other case, what is other case, ma? If you are planning to reduce the cost of transportation straight away, you are a company. What is your objective? To transfer to transport the goods from the factory to demand point or warehouse. Will you go for high cost or low cost? Better to use the word optimum cost. What is the word, ma? Optimum cost. So then it is what, ma? Minimization objective. In the question itself, they will give whether the objective is minimization or maximization. Okay. If the objective is maximization, okay, you need to convert into minimization model. Okay, I am repeating this point, ma. This is the most important area where you may make mistake. Okay, by seeing the problem, transportation, superb, LCM, superb, and you may do it fast. But in reality, what is the objective should be identified first. If you are not identifying the objective, answer will be going wrong. Identify the objective, whether maximization or a minimization. Sir, if it is maximization, what we should do, ma? We should convert into minimization. Sir, if it is minimization, we are super happy. Straight away convert, straight away do the all the steps which are required. Am I clear? Sir, never skip this point. What is the most important point, ma? Target. What is the target, ma? Basically, cost minimization and demand supply should be fully exhausted. Okay, completely demand should be exhausted. And next, what is the first step, ma? Maximization model or minimization model? That is something objective. If it is minimization objective, you are very happy. You can go with the steps. Different method have different steps. We follow that. What about next one, ma? Maximization objective. There comes the scenario. Even in assignment also, you are having this concept. In assignment also, what is the objective? Maximization or minimization? What you will do, ma? If it is minimization, we are very happy. We can have all the 6 steps there. Row operation, column operation, all fine. In this case also, if it is minimization, super. We can do it. But if it is maximization, we have to convert into which type, ma? Minimization. Same as assignment. Same as assignment, how to convert it. How to convert and all, we shall see in the problems. Okay, what is next step, ma? Whether supply is equal to demand or not. That is the second check. First check, is it clear? What is the first check, ma? With some energy, can you tell the first check there? What is our objective? Maximization or minimization? The same point will repeat all the cases in LPP. Maximization objective, minimization objective. In assignment, maximization objective, minimization objective. And in this case of transportation also, what is your objective? Okay. And what is second check mark? Can you tell the point? Whether supply total is equal to demand total or not. If yes, super. It is balanced one. If it is not, what is the scenario, ma? It is unbalanced one. Okay. So let us see. So first scenario. There can be different scenarios for your problems. What is the first scenario, ma? Check. What is the first check, ma? Maximization or minimization? So if it is minimization, we are very happy and we are going with the second check. What is second check, ma? Supply equal to demand or not? If it is, the answer is yes, then simply follow the steps. Based on the method, we follow the steps. Okay. There can be second scenario. What is second scenario, ma? First check, satisfied or not? And we are happy now. So we go to second check. What is second check, ma? Supply equal to demand. Here it is no. What we should do, ma? Then we need to balance it. How to balance? So for example, if supply portion is 200 and the demand portion is 150, is it equal or not equal, ma? Not equal. Sir, here where there is shortage, ma? Demand part. So just add a dummy there with the 0 elements. Sometimes in the question, they may ask you to mention some other elements for zeros instead of zeros. That is special a case. Normally will not be for ours, basically. But for your convenience, I will discuss that part also. Okay. So is the two cases scenario clear, ma? So last scenario. What is the last scenario, ma? Sir, first check. What is it, ma? Maximization. Are we happy? We are sad. What is the reason, ma? Some extra burden for us. Okay. So now what we should do, ma? Basically in this case, convert into minimization. Always remember this point. Whenever the problem is given regarding assignment and transportation, your basic checks is mandatory. Without checking and all, I am good with steps, sir. I will do steps, sir. So the basic thing is that you have to cancel entire problem and you have to start again. Be careful with checks. Sir, only for the checks I am giving importance. For other things I will not give importance. Because what is the point, ma? Sir, without checking the checks and all, as you are hurry with exam, okay, 3 hours exam, entirely new different scenario, December, fully cool, okay, your mind also fully relaxed. By seeing the question transportation, LCM method, you are very happy. And you started the problem without seeing whether it is maximization or minimization. Done with the answer. Once you are going with the cross check and all, you have seen that it is maximization objective. Now what you should do, ma? Cancel the entire answer and start again. How will be your mind at that point of time? That even though remaining paper is very easy, With this effect, what will affect more? Entire paper will get affected because of SCM, because of our hurry and this basic objective missing. SCM missed. What happened more? SCM missed. However, you got, for example, Subhash student, so and so student, he got 58, 58, 58. Three papers, first three papers, for example, 58. Okay, and last paper he got 39. Because of what, ma? Objective. One objective changed our objective. So do not change that part. Am I clear, ma? Sir, OM part and SCM part is very, very easy. But part A and part B is very, very easy. It depends upon whom, ma? How cool you are. Okay, Mallanna movie is known to you, na? Mallanna, hero Vikram's movie. How much cool he will be, ma? Like Himalayas, he will be extreme cool. Exam, go with such a cool mind because you are giving your best. When you are giving your best, be cool there. Okay, even if you are not knowing the concept, with a cool mind, you will get answers somehow. Somehow you'll get it. Okay, so my humble request for exams, you work hard or smart here, but at the exam center, what you should do? There will be some guy will be approaching you when they will be asking, have you read this question? Have you read that question? So you ask him to get out away from you, or else you leave away from him. Okay. One most important aspect, just not classes and all. I want to give this information to you basically because I have seen n number of guys who have done these issues. Immediately while going to the exam and all, one dirty fellow will come to us and will approach us. Buddy, have you read every questions? And he will take different questions from different areas. Not even the life of CMA they gave that question, but this guy will get that question and he will show us. Till there we are going with the confidence, and because of him, our confidence meter will come to 0. And our BP meter will increase, and because of this our mind will change and we get disturbed. So skip those guys. Okay, now only we identify some guys who are similar to that and stay away from them. And exam, while you are going to exam, go alone, and while you are coming out of exam, come out alone. And immediately after exam is done, keep the paper aside. If it is last exam, fine. If it is first exam, do not check the paper at all. My humble request. With excitement and all, if you're asking your fellow buddy answers, if he has given something answer, different answer, which you have mentioned, gone. Next paper, drastic effect. These points, you knew it, but I'm giving because they are required. The first paper will be having effect on all the papers. So after each paper, do not discuss with anyone. If it is last paper, your wish. If the last paper of last group, for example, if someone is planning to write both the groups and all, if you are going with the both groups, last paper, if you want to discuss, you can discuss. But if you are making discussion also, you cannot go back and you cannot change, na? No use. So better to do what, ma, after exams? Go for which mode, ma? Happy mode or worst mode? Whatever done, we are done. So go with enjoyment mode for some 1 week. After 1 week, you check the paper. If it is okay, fine. If it is not okay, cry for 1 full day. Okay, then that things will not happen for you because as you are studying regularly, are you at least not? I don't need on have a time of 1 hour or 2 hours. At least having through the notes, going through the notes, whatever are said. Basically, you are having 2 classes now. What are the 2 classes you are having now? DT and SCM. Whatever done in the class, go with the revision. Quick recall. Not much or not less time. Not just 1 minute and all. Basic time. Okay. And one more important aspect is that if you want to clear whatever group you are giving in the December, how much burden will be removed? 4 papers gone. 4 papers cleared. How peace of mind you are having? How much peace of mind? There are no 4 papers, only 4 papers. Aram se or peaceful mind, you can enjoy the life. So if you are done with already 1 group and only 1 group pending, you'll be most happiest person because both the groups are done. So till how many months you are preparing? Only till December. Okay? Till December. After that, if you are enjoying, if you are doing whatever you want, none will ask. But till then, at least spend some reasonable time. Okay, clear? So let us end this session and we shall go to the next session with the transportation and all. And you are having the material nama. So fine. Thank you, buddies.